Hello, welcome to Spark Select. My name's Craig and I'm joined by
Stevie. We'd like to speak to you today about Anthem and exactly what went wrong. Why we had such a stunning gameplay reveal trailer that turned into a game nothing like it. Let's get to work.
Jason Schreier from Kotaku recently posted an article of his finding from speaking to 19 different developers from Bioware, and the main thing that dominated its development and ultimately its destruction was clearly the lack of leadership and direction the developers actually had to work with. So many conflicting ideas really prevented it being the success that it once originally promised.
Anthem was in pre-production right back in 2012, which you think would be more than enough time to create a solid game for release in February 2019. However, through Jason scratching the surface into its development, the game was only named a few days before its 2017 E3 announcement, which wasn't even in production until after E3.
This game was shown to have a Destiny come Iron Man vibe to it, but even suggesting a comparison to Destiny was considered taboo by the higher-ups within Bioware. With its Fireteam style group loot shooter feel, they would have found many benefits of its similarities to Destiny, but they could have taken full advantage of it in order to improve the game. One of its key mechanics, flying, wasn't even originally meant to be a part of the game, and was added and removed several times, even though that is one of the standout features and one of the more popular features of the game. After release, the game received middling reviews and is currently sitting at a Metacritic score of 55 for the PS4 version, 59 for the PC version, and 65 for the Xbox version, and is officially Bioware's lowest rated game. The game didn't flop as badly as Fallout 76 by Bethesda last year, but many people felt that the game lacked purpose and variety, or any clear goal.
The fact that the game was only in production for 18 months maximum before it was released makes it clear that something needed to be done differently. A developer even states that they needed their highly successful game, Dragon Age Inquisition, which released in 2014, to fail in order for people to truly see that this is not a viable way to make games. Another big mistake that EA caused was their insistence that all of their developers should be using the Frostbite engine, which was originally developed by DICE and was primarily designed to be used with the Battlefield series, which was a first-person shooter. By insisting they use this engine, they limited the game's potential, and with scarce documentation for the engine, it was a struggle to get even simple tasks done. One of the developers even claimed that it could take a week to fix even a simple bug, which therefore discourages people from even fixing them. Although, unlike what the majority assumed, EA were not wholly responsible for Bioware's downfall with the subpar releases of both Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem. They aren't completely without blame. The article states that they had a small team designed to support developers with the Frostbite engine, but they would always prioritise the developers that had more potential to make most money for EA, such as teams that develop FIFA, their most successful IP.
Therefore, Bioware were pretty much swept to the side and left to fend for themselves for the most part. This must have been a very inefficient way to work, and we can only hope that EA learn from this going forward. EA aren't unpopular at the moment just because haters gonna hate. They have such bad business practices that it is starting to show with everything they produce. All the problems within Bioware clearly took its toll on some of the developers, which ended up quite badly affecting their mental health and had to take time off for what a developer described as stress casualties.
One of the developers that Jason interviewed mentioned that they sometimes found an empty room just to break down and cry in. This is not okay that people can be made to feel that way when trying to create a product primarily intended to entertain.
What Jason's article highlights is that despite the end product being just a game, there are real people behind these games, and when it is affecting their lives this badly, the game simply isn't worth it, no matter how good it is. We both think that things desperately need to change within the games industry, as this is unacceptable. Crunch culture shouldn't exist, and Russian games shouldn't be a priority. We as gamers are happy to wait until a product is ready to be able to play it, and EA have the money to delay games until they are ready, and then maybe they would be able to get back the good reputation that they once had.
Shortly after the article was published, Bioware and EA put out an official statement. We'd like to take a moment to address an article published this morning about Bioware and Anthem's development. First and foremost, We wholeheartedly stand behind every current and former member of our team that worked on the game, including leadership. It takes a massive amount of effort and energy and dedication to make any game, and making Anthem would not have been possible without every single one of their efforts. We chose not to comment or participate in the story because we felt there was an unfair focus on specific team members and leaders who did their absolute best to bring this totally new idea to fans. We didn't want to be part of something that was attempting to bring them down as individuals. We respect them all, and we built this game as a team. We put great emphasis on our workplace culture in our studios. The health and well-being of our team members is something we take very seriously. We have built a new leadership team over the last couple of years, starting with Casey Hudson as our GM in 2017, which has helped us make big steps to improve studio culture and our creative focus. We hear the criticisms that were raised by people in the piece today, and we're looking at that alongside feedback that we receive in our internal team surveys. We put a lot of focus on better planning to avoid crunch time, and it was not a major topic of feedback in our internal postmortems. Making games, especially new IP, will always be one of the hardest entertainment challenges. We do everything we can to try and make it healthy and stress-free, but we also know there's always room to improve. As a studio and a team, we accept all criticisms that will come our way for the games we make, especially from our players. The creative process is often difficult. The struggles and challenges of making video games are very real, but the reward of putting something we created into the hands of our players is amazing. People in this industry put so much passion and energy into making something fun. We don't see the value in tearing down one another or one another's work. We don't believe articles that do that are making our industry and craft better. Our full focus is on our players and continuing to make Anthem everything it can be for our community. Thank you to our fans for your support. We do what we do for you.
This feels so dismissive of the well-being of our own employees, but I can't help but lose more respect for EA, and that's after the Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot box drama back in November 2017. Now, if you personally like the game, that's not a bad thing. You should feel free to like and enjoy whatever you want. But we do strongly recommend you check out the article. We'll leave a link in the description below so you can form your own opinions.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you feel for the developers, or do you think the end justifies the means?
If you like this video and would like to see more content from us, please like and subscribe.
Thanks for listening. Play harder.